Levels. Levels are good. Vader Games in the building. Vader Games TV. Another episode of Why Always Me. And it wasn't planned. I'm actually a day early, typically, in terms of when I record, when I go live, but I had to, a lot on my mind, a lot on my chest, so I had to get it out there. Thanks for tuning in. It's going to be a amazing conversation. I'm actually hoping to have some of the fantastic Manchester City family join me on this stream. So without any further ado, let me absolutely go to the intro. Let's get to it. All right. First things first, my peoples come first. First thing to do, viewers, if you're new, if you've returned from a previous show, if you supported the channel before, do what you got to do. Hit that follow button, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. And if any part of what I happen to say or share with you makes you think differently, brings a smile to your face, you happen to enjoy the conversation, the thought process, please share it. Share it with your friends. And let's grow this friendship. All right. You see the topics on the screen right here, and we've got a list. We've got a list to go through. I'm going to chat it up real quick. And go through these topics. And obviously, guest-wise, we'll be jumping into it a little later. Now, a lot of rumors going around. Nothing confirmed. Okay? Nothing has been confirmed. But the way things have been moving, the way some of the accepted communication messaging that I'm seeing online, it's like a foregone conclusion, and it's mainly around Gabriel Jesus and Raheem Sterling, two fantastic players that have put in amazing service. They've been warriors for the club, and obviously a lot of speculation on them moving on. Okay, the biggest rumor with regards to Gabriel Jesus is a move to Arsenal. It's been rumored for a while. It is actually rumored early in the year that resulted in Jesus going off for 4 goals. Fantastic performance. I guess he didn't like all the rumor talk. And then Sterling, as of late, heavy emphasis that he's possibly going to Chelsea in particular. So again, nothing is nailed yet. Nothing's nailed yet. But what I do want to talk about is it's kind of like the fan base perspective with these players. And I don't, I'm not policing here. I'm not babysitting. I'm really not judging. But I do want to point out an observation. Okay. Obviously, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Everyone's entitled to express their opinion, right? That's nothing new. What it do? I can't stay at a BBQ. Hey, I'm not mad at that. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, FIFA. I appreciate it. And taking the time to say hello. I love it. What I want to talk about, though, is with regards to these players and now the expectation that they may move, or there's a strong expectation that they're going to move, right? And I get it. Us as a fan base, we're going to express our opinions. I'm having a really hard time with how the critique of the players, and obviously they're moving on, right? They're no longer at the club. That it is For some fans, it is a shot. It is a chance to kind of the point out the incomplete elements of a player's game, or moments within the past where they've kind of fallen short, right? And I'm so thankful that Gunnelorian's going to be able to join the show. So let me get him on board. I think I'll have to change the format real quick.
Hey, bro.
Hey, Gundo, thanks for joining, my guy.
Anytime, man. Always pleasure to support. Absolutely.
Thanks so much. I just went live and I was doing a little intro, and I
Yeah.
was kind of giving a little context. Not sure if you heard, but the topics on screen is what I'm hoping to go through. That's a farewell to Sterling and Jesus prematurely, because again, nothing's confirmed. It's also for us to maybe talk about how their roles may be filled, and
Yeah.
transfer window is not complete as well. But we'll go through some of those topics. And what I was just sharing real quick is some fans, obviously not all, and I'm never going to talk about all, but the service that these players have put in for us, and obviously some of the wins, some of the losses, some of the great performances, some of the lows of some of these players, and for some to make that front and center for others to kind of see with regards to maybe a justification to why these players are moving on or should be okayed or accepted for them to move on. And that's where and again, all in good conversation, nothing's mean-spirited, nothing's hateful, but that's where some of the conversation kind of goes back and forth. And I had a fantastic convo on Twitter. If you're not following viewers, please do that, and please follow Gunnelorian as well. But we had a great exchange with regards to how the teams have to continue to improve and adjust. And obviously there's only so much you can kind of say in the characters within tweets.
Right.
But I thought it's on this show in particular, I just want to, if I don't have the opportunity, and I'm sure I will moving forward, but I want to add the farewell message as opposed to thanks, good riddance, on to the next type that some fans have kind of expressed, right? And with regards to Jesus now, all the speculation with him going to Arsenal, I think it's pretty strong, right? It's probably in the higher percentages.
I think it's done.
Okay.
I think there is no argument. He's going to go to Arsenal. There's a reason why Erling Haaland didn't have a number on the back of his shirt, because he wants a number 9. And he can't get the number 9 until Jesus is officially gone. So he's gone. He's going to go. The question is how much. I'm hearing 40 million. I think that's a good deal.
Okay. 40. Yeah, 40. Yeah, I think something similar around that range as well.
Yeah.
What
and
is what I've
for
seen
me,
for him.
with Jesus, the reason why I'm happy that he's leaving is for a couple of reasons. Right. Number one, he deserves to play as a main striker for another team, such as Arsenal. Number two, I like Arteta. I like what he's doing at Arsenal. I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I like what he's doing. Number three, the reality is that I'm tired of seeing Liverpool go to Arsenal and batter them 3-0 with no response. It's just it's boring after a while, right? I'm tired of seeing us go to Arsenal and then come to us and not be competitive, right? I think the league deserves to have an Arsenal that's strong, which again may take points off Liverpool, may take points of City, may take points of Chelsea. That's good. That's good for the league. Rather than holding him here and he has no game time, and then in the usual Liverpool 3-0 at Arsenal happens. What's the point in that? So it's good in both ways. It's almost like loaning a player out to a manager that we know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I hear that point in terms of wanting the best for a former Manchester City player, and obviously, thanking him in a similar way to, okay, you've been fantastic for us. We obviously want you to have success, and going to a club like Arsenal that has a former assistant manager there and the ties there, I kind of get it. I do. I do find it interesting though when it's now time for the player to move on. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but it's something that I've noticed. And maybe it's more so on how my timeline is feeding me some of these details. But there's no you've cost us you've cost us big opportunities. You've had many failures at your time at Manchester City. See you later, Jesus. But I see the opposite with regards to a player that's battled for us just as much as Jesus in Sterling. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I think the issue is with Sterling is there are a couple of things I think that's going on. Number one is there's some big moments in big games where he's missed one-on-one chances that people have been flabbergasted. Let's go back to the Champions League final against Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked about this many times later with us, and the one change that Guardiola makes in the final against Chelsea, people talk about what's Pep doing? Why did he get rid of Fernandinho in that final? Why was there no Rodri in that final? Well, the one change that he makes is to accommodate Raheem Sterling. He takes out Fernandinho and Rodri. Now, the reason I say that is because there was a press conference where he was asked about Sterling's contract, and this was in a press conference that Pep said he played in the final. I put him in the final. He talks about game time. I put him in the biggest game of the season in the final.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened in the final? He misses 1v1 chance. And then without the Fernandinho, without Rodri, Havertz gets the ball, Mount gets the ball, passes to the middle, Havertz goes and scores a goal.
Yeah.
1v1. So
Go
there's
ahead.
this thing that's attached to that. The second thing is because he came from Liverpool, there's always a feeling that is he really, yes, he's top of the league and he's done well. Is he really one of us? I don't know. I feel that's also the issue. I mean, for me, here's my perspective. I'll just be clear.
No, yeah, it's good.
I think he's done great for us. I'm happy for the work that he's done. But I'm at a point, maybe it's just my own mental. I'm just at a point where thank you for what you've done. We appreciate you. You're not signing a contract for the best team in the league with the best manager. You got to go.
Yes.
You just have to leave.
And that's where we're in 100% agreement. I'm totally on board. And when we talk about the nature of sport and football, and we were sharing just the life cycle of things. I understand when a player happens to want more than what the club has evaluated the player to get, they're at an impasse. So it's either it at the end of the day, the player will move on because they won't remain at a club that a player's overvalued himself with regards to what the club sees. So I am in total agreement with that, and I get it. It's time to say goodbye because we haven't come to terms.
Right, and just one little point on it. So yeah. I really believe this is a BS story, right?
Which one?
This whole Raheem to Chelsea stuff. I think it's all BS.
So you think there's another destination, or that he's remaining?
He's staying. He's not going to go.
So okay. So, and that's another reason why my blood boils a little bit for how some of the fans are already being like, it's time for you to go anyways. If he remains here, it's kind of like let me paint. Maybe this is a terrible analogy, right? Mm-hmm. But we've seen it a few times on sitcoms. The friend goes to you and he's like, "Oh, my girlfriend, man, I think it's over." And the friend goes in, he's like, "Oh, I'm so glad you're breaking up with her. She's trash. She's been the worst. I don't like how she treated you. I don't like how you guys were together." And then the friend goes, "Well, no, I was just expressing how we just had a fight, but I love her. I want to stay together." You can't take those words back. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So some of the like criticism and pointing out some of the failures with regards to Sterling in the sense of, you're gone. We don't think you can do it. And now, oops, you're here for another year, and we're still going to want the best out of you. That's kind of like where I'm a little torn. And I also want to Go ahead.
The issue, I think, is one of valuation. And so let's take a Chelsea, for example, right? Mm-hmm. City are saying that if you want Raheem Sterling, you bring your 50 plus million, 60 million to get him. 1 year left on the contract. Which tells you, in my opinion, that City don't really want to sell this guy. because they know that Chelsea ain't going to pay 50, 60 million for Raheem Sterling with 1 year left on the contract. It ain't happening, right? When Chelsea need 3 center backs, a defensive midfielder to solve before they even become competitive. So spending 60 million on Raheem Sterling, for me, at what wage level is not logical. It doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then from Raheem's perspective, why would you want to go from Liverpool to City to Chelsea? I mean, who does that in the Premier League? If you want to play, go out, go to Real Madrid, go to Barcelona, go to Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, the business of football, I think and from what I understand, it's Raheem and his circle that's management. I don't think he has a quote unquote established or long time established agent, right? Um, but strategically, I would say if you can't get the salary that you want at your present club, and you're not going to get the salary that you want at a new club because of the transfer costs, then the impasse is I remain where I'm at, I remain professional, I give it my all, I go on a free, I clear the books on the club that I'm at, and I leave on a free so that the new club that I go to don't have to pay a transfer fee and can give me a higher wage than what I was going to get at Manchester City in this case. So there's a few things at play that I think that still remain to play out, and that's why even one of the topics was it's a long transfer window. This transfer window has just begun, and I think some of our fans need to understand that. Like, there's a lot of moves that still need to happen. But yeah, go ahead.
To your point, Vader, I think that if you step back, I think the club would rather let him go on a free transfer next year than sell him this year. Because, I mean, we all, 1 year left on the contract, you're asking for 50, 60 million. No one's going to pay that, Vader. No one's going to pay that kind of money for a guy where in January he can literally just wait and sign a pre-contract with any club outside of England, and then wait till June to sign a free contract with any other club. So why would Chelsea in a real building phase where they need to buy 3 center backs pay for Raheem Sterling at 60 million in this? It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
It just doesn't make it happen. It's all just smoke and mirrors and people just talking. I don't think he's going anywhere.
I would agree. And like, we're gonna have to kind of see where things kind of play out on another show. Not this one. I will, because I don't believe we actually had the greater conversation. But the point with regards to Pep and his decision with regards to I'm going to say 2 seasons ago, because last season, but the Gundogan Sterling on the pitch, I got a different approach to that, but I want to tackle that on a different show. Big up McLovin, thanks for tuning in. He goes, big up Vader, love your work, new sub after seeing you on H&H and True City. My God, thanks for the sub, my friend. Thanks for the sub. And speaking of True City fan, impeccable timing. So we got Gundalorian, we got True City fan Patrick, 2 great friends of mine that actually introduced me to their fantastic platforms, and we were able to have great conversations. And I'm fortunate enough to return the favor today. I know that both of them are able to speak and work within their work schedule. So I'm very appreciative of that. I just finished talking about the Sterling and Jesus. Nothing confirmed with regards to the departure. Gundo and I kind of agree that it's a little premature with regards to Sterling and his movement to Chelsea, because some things don't quite make sense.
It doesn't make Vader. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It just, I mean, if you step back, and let's take the emotion out of this, right? Take all the emotion out of it. What's probably going to happen is that he's going to leave for free next year. That was what's going to happen, right? Because, I mean, City is saying, hey, Chelsea, if you want this guy, pay 60 million. Chelsea ain't going to pay 60 million for Raheem Sterling with 1 year left on the contract. Financially, it's a stupid move.
I agree.
Get a player that you can get for free next year. So why spend the money on a Raheem Sterling now when you can get him for free next year? Oh, and by the way, you lost Rudiger, you lost Christensen, Kante's getting older, Kovacic is there, Jorginho's 1 year left on the contract. He's probably going to leave. Why would you not reinforce those areas? Oh, by the way, they're still trying to solve Lukaku, and now Marina's leaving, and all these other guys. So it just makes no sense.
And I believe they're rumored to go after Dembele as well. So I think they might,
Exactly.
yeah, they might be prioritizing
Dembele
that.
plays on the right side, which is where Sterling plays. What are you going to play Sterling on the left side? What happens to Ziyech? What happens to Pulisic? What happens to all these guys? So
Okay.
if we just step back 1 minute and think about this from a board, not from a fan perspective, from a board perspective, it absolutely makes zero sense. Which is
I
why I
agree.
believe that this story is just BS. Now, we need depth. I was on the City Lads group that we talk about that. Yes, we need depth. We have so many games coming up, and we need players to do that. Raheem Sterling is going to have to up his game to win the spot.
Yes.
I guarantee you this, Vader. The way that Alvarez finishes, Sterling's got to match that.
Okay, fantastic, and I love how that flows. What I wanted to point out, and it was kind of like again one of the other topics on here was, okay, let's say we've just talked about it. We've talked it out loud. We've actually used some reasoning. We've understood based off of the number, how aggressive the talks have been. We're gonna assume, we're gonna accept that Jesus is moving. We're still kind of like wait and see with regards to Sterling. With regards to who fills the roles now, right? So we know that Holland's coming in. We know that Alvarez is coming in. We obviously have I'm going to say the youngsters, although when I say the youngsters, we're going to talk about the Palmers, and we're going to talk about the McTees, and we're going to talk about, so we know of those players, but let's just talk about first team players in terms of signings. Holland and Alvarez coming in. For what Jesus did, it was Jesus and Aguero. Aguero's departed. We never replaced him. Okay. I'm going to make the connection and say Holland is the Aguero. Holland is the 9 that we never replaced.
Correct.
We also lost for Ferran Torres. We never replaced him. The replacement to Ferran Torres, in my eyes, I'm looking at Alvarez. Okay. Now another player is leaving now, so we've got those 2 players back. We got Holland and Alvarez back for Aguero and Torres. Jesus is leaving, so we now have another position, quote unquote, to fill, and a role. Because I've already said, if you guys agree, hit me up in the comments if you don't agree. But I'm looking at it as we weren't a complete team last year. We replaced Aguero finally with Holland. We replaced Ferran Torres with Alvarez.
I think Alvarez is Jesus' replacement, not Ferran Torres is irrelevant in this conversation. He was such a guy that we bought.
But from a player spot though, this is why I want to make reference to him, because in terms of like a player spot, and again maybe a position skill set that Pep had wanted, and obviously let go. He's like, you're free to go. I'm not going to hold you hostage. But that wasn't replaced.
Well, so I have a different perspective on the whole
Okay.
Ferran Torres deal, right? I don't think Ferran Torres was integral to the team. I think Ferran Torres was a financial opportunity for City. Meaning, Valencia were in trouble financially. We got him for what, 20 million and 19 million? We sold him later on for what, 60? We made a profit of 40. Didn't change anything. There's nothing that Ferran Torres is doing that Cole Palmer can't do.
Okay, that's perfect. That's perfect, because it's kind of like musical chairs. Because I wanted, and this is terrible. I'm going to do this on another show in better detail. And thank you for all the comments. But I think it's important to kind of put out kind of like that vision board of players and positions that would have been what Pep would have wanted. And through the course of football business, let players go. And that's why I kind of just wanted to take a step back. We go as far back to Aguero leaving, not being replaced. We go as far more recently. We look at, again, and I understand the business opportunity that came and went with Ferran Torres, but him coming and going was a spot, was a first team spot.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I hear you, Vader. But again,
because
this
we elevated the guys from the from development to fill that spot, not necessarily
yeah,
going out and seeking.
yeah. But let's just take Ferran Torres for example, right?
Mhm.
In my opinion, Ferran Torres' life at City was never going to be long because Alvarez was going to come in, Haaland was going to come in. What happens to him then? He was a financial opportunity. The board said, hey, we got this guy at Valencia for 19th when they're in trouble. Let's buy him. Let's play him. Let's increase his value. Let's sell him, which is exactly what they did.
Okay, so let's do it this way, and hopefully you guys can see it as I talk it out loud. But let's say we know that Pep wants a second player to compete per position. Okay, so I'm gonna work left to right. We're gonna go Grealish, Foden, forward left.
Yeah.
We're gonna go Holland, and until he's out the door, Holland, Jesus, center forward.
Jesus is gone.
Okay,
Jesus,
Holland is solely at 9.
yep.
Okay, so we need a backup there.
Well, see, Holland can play the 9 or he can play a false 9.
Yes, but I mean in terms of at 9 we've got Holland on
Or
the right
Alvarez. Or Alvarez.
or
Or Alvarez.
Alvarez.
Yeah.
Okay, and now on the right, for argument's sake, we'll go Mahrez and Sterling
And Palmer.
and Palmer.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So we've got that in terms of
Covered.
the team base
Yeah.
covered.
Yeah. Central
Now
midfield.
we go into midfield
Got
and we're
Rodri, Calvin Phillips, all things being equal. You got De Bruyne,
back with
number 1. You
yep.
got Bernardo, McAtee,
Okay.
right? And then the back 4, you got Cancelo, Cucurella, you got Diaz, Stones, Laporte, Ake. Right back, you got Kyle Walker. And you have
Okay.
Zinchenko right now. Again.
Yes. So where I want to go in greater detail, and McLovin, I see your comment. I didn't say it out loud, but selling so many players in a World Cup year mid-season doesn't sound right. And I agree with you. And what I want to kind of point out, and I love the fact that I'm able to have Carl Gunlorian here to talk this through. And for simplicity, moving forward on another show, because I've been able to talk it out loud, I will have the images on screen with regards to player, and we can have that better sink in for us and talk about it in a better format. But where I wanted to look to stress is as we're pursuing this upcoming season, okay, it is so difficult to repeat. It's even more difficult to three-peat. And we know that is a goal
Yeah.
of ours.
I hear you, bro, but this is a different team. See, this is why I kind of like what's happening right now with, you know, this idea about Jesus leaving and if Sterling leaves, because here's what we have, right? We have
Mhm,
Palmer, McAtee, Adozier, Delap, okay, may not probably go on loan. These guys are way beyond the academy. It's ridiculous, right? They have no business playing in the academy next year. It's a
mhm,
waste of their time. And frankly, it's a waste of their time because they walked the academy this year. They started slowly. They were losing games, and they kind of upped the ante and they blew the academy away.
mhm,
This is back-to-back wins for the academy. The 18s won the academy. The under 10s won the academy. The under 6s won the academy. So throughout the ranks of the Man City men's team, we won everything in England, which tells you that these boys are not ready for the next level, right? And they're
yes.
itching to play under Guardiola, arguably the best coach in the world right now.
Mhm.
We have to begin to integrate these kids into the team at this point in time, given the number of games that we have. It has to happen. If not, sell them. Don't waste your time. So for me, it's an opportunity to begin to bring these kids into the first team, to begin to sense that, experience that, and build their confidence.
And I am 100% in agreement.
Right.
And again, where it's challenging from a communication standpoint, even sharing our thoughts and ideas over Twitter, is I was looking at McLovin brought the point up with because again, we just talked this through, so it's kind of like a moot point now. But for some believing that Sterling and Jesus was going out the door, you can understand questions being raised to, okay, we know that the youth is going to fill in the gaps or get the opportunity to play
Yep.
because they've shown that they have the ability. They now need first team minutes, right?
Right. Right.
But again, and this is why I kind of started it by bringing up this point is now if we're pursuing
Mm.
a not unprecedented but rare three-peat, if we're pursuing the pursuit of a Champions League,
Mhm.
and there is going to be again more reliance on these players that aren't battle tested in that way.
Yeah.
That's where even my comment
But
with regards
let
to
me allay your fears. Let me allay your
concerns
concerns,
come
right?
from. Yeah,
Even with the Sterling and the Jesus, how far did we go and what did we get in the Champions League?
we got to semis and finals.
So how come we didn't cross the Rubicon? Why didn't we cross the Rubicon?
But not crossing it, this is where I'm saying not crossing it, I can't pinpoint on them. Like it wouldn't be
Right. So, so
their roles or their input to
right.
why we didn't cross
So
those
what do we have to
lines.
lose? Let's take the Chelsea game, for example. The Chelsea game, final Champions League, right?
Yes.
You got Mason Mount and Kai Havertz, under 21s, under 22, right?
Yep.
From the youth academy from Germany, who were able to cross the Rubicon. They didn't have Raheem Sterling. They didn't have Gabriel Jesus. They had those
Mhm.
young kids, and somehow they got over the line. Why can't we? Why do we have to assume that because Sterling is leaving, we can't cross the Rubicon with the kids coming in? That's where the argument breaks down for me.
Yeah, it's not so again, it's not that they're I'm not looking at it as now we've pigeonholed ourselves and
Mhm.
because of these players that's left, we're not capable of doing it. I've never had that perspective. But one thing that has been a criticism with regards to why we haven't been able to do it is it a matter of experience? Is it a matter of
So yeah,
players knowing the importance of those moments? So we
yeah,
we're,
yeah.
we're looking. And I just mean from attacking
No,
standpoint,
I hear you,
right?
bro. But I think that it's not about experience that we haven't crossed the Rubicon. The reason why we haven't crossed the Rubicon because we've been wasteful in front of goal, right? Leon, Raheem Sterling, 1v1. In fact, not in 1v1, 1v0 in front of the goal. That miss
Yes.
destroyed the spirit of the team, right? And I'm not picking holes of Sterling. I'm just saying the facts, right?
Hmm.
Against Chelsea, 1v1 with Mendy misses the goal. I mean, a Cole Palmer, a kid who has no fear, no baggage in front of goal, buries that. He buries that, changes the dynamic. Let's take, for example, Real Madrid, right? Vader, right?
Yeah.
Rodrigo is a kid from the Madrid Academy or a young kid. He comes in, buries his chances. What's the difference? Kai Havertz buries his chance. Difference. So while we carry these guys for 7 years, maybe it's time for a change. If Guardiola feels that he can do without him and these two guys, let's back that. Let's look
Yes.
forward to that.
Here's where I challenge. And Patrick, thanks for tuning in, my guy.
No,
I know
thank you,
you had.
man. Thank you, man. Thank you.
I'm not sure if you've been able to listen to the convo, but I've been talking with Gunnelorian with regards to some of this premature bye, see you later to Sterling. It looks like there's a strong departure for Jesus, so we've come to terms to that. But I'm just posing the question: how are some of the roles with regards to Jesus and in particular Sterling filled with the players that we're I guess expecting to fill those roles? Um, one thing that I do want to say is I'm not putting the emphasis just on Champions League moments. I think that's where it gets unfair with regards to let's just let them go because it has been Jesus moments, and I agree he's leaving. So let's talk about Sterling. But it's been Sterling delivering with regards to EPLs as well. It's been Sterling playing for us and delivering when we haven't looked at our best. So it's not in particular to Champions League and those failures, but the squad overall. And we have right now, I think the reason why we have this youth movement going on versus maybe retaining some of the experience is, and I'll throw this to you, Patrick, is mostly because of what we're seeing from our competitors. I think because we've seen, I'm not going to rate it as poor transfer window because it's so early, but I think because of the state of our ops is why our team, the management, are possibly looking at this opportunity to bring in the youth. What do you think of that idea?
Look, for me, me. I love the youth, and a lot of people seem to be against me when I talk about the youth. But the reason why,
I'm not
before I
against
answer
you,
this
by the
question,
way.
the reason why I asked for the youth is, I think Gundo right now has started getting it. Is when you're watching from outside, you're hungry. You're always hungry from outside, and the thing is, we don't have bad youth. Like I know people say, oh, it's not the quality of Guardiola, but some of the youth that are shining right now, especially Markety, there's nobody I can tell you right now. There's nobody in our team currently who plays like Markety. That's the only thing I see unique about him. I don't know if you've seen him, Veta. The way Markety plays, I haven't seen a player in our team play like him. Yes, they say, oh, David Silva. Yes, he's like that when he's moving, but he's got this other different sort of play. He's very confident and he takes some players from midfield, which is something like it's only Bernardo I've seen. But the way Markety does is Bernardo will do it and pass behind or he'll pass sideways and you want to go that far. Marketing goes as far as in your box. So looking at Parma, as Gundo said, there's even a Dozy. You know what I hate? Before I answer the question, what I hate is there's this other judgment of Idozi as if he's nothing. Like, I don't know, maybe it's me, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I like youth so much. But Idozi, if people see and how Pep mentioned him, it's like Pep said, this kid, there's him and Sane, players I have seen who move the ball fast and dribble while
Yeah.
they're moving, while they're running. He only
Yeah.
mentioned Idozi. He never mentioned Palmer. He never mentioned Makiti. He never mentioned Gaiki. He said Idozi. And if you watch Idozi during preseason, the way he was skinning people older than him. I know
Yeah.
it's preseason, but this is what I'm trying to say to people is if Pep decides to say this guy is a winger, he will come in. We've got about five subs this season. Why can't Idozi come in for the like 10 minutes if we're winning? Why can Palmer come in for all and even Palmer, I think Gundo, you saw him last season. Do you remember the goals he scored? This kid didn't bother to pass. He didn't bother to pass. And I was like, Palmer, what are you doing? And I was like, oh my God, he scored. Like he didn't care. Like
Let me
he had no fear.
let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Let me explain something to you. So maybe because I coach and I've gone through a couple of cycles of new teams that I can maybe talk about this some more. I lost some players last season. Some went to different academies, some went to different teams, whatever it is. And there's this fear in your mind that, oh my God, I'm losing my players. I've trained all the way. The reality is it's upon you, the coach, to train the next set of players. This year, for example, in my team under 14s, brand new players who are very young, who played above the age grade. These kids played the best football I have seen. They scored 63 goals in 20 games, conceded 3, won 18 or 20 games. Why? Because we infuse youth, energy, the ability to learn, to be coachable, excitement into the team.
Yeah.
Right? If Sterling and Jesus go for whatever reason want to go, it tells you they don't want to stay.
Yeah, they
Bring in
don't.
these kids.
You
Bring
can't
them
force
in.
somebody to stay. You can't force somebody to stay.
Think about this, guys, right?
Yeah.
Let's just the midfield is stable. We got Rodri, Calvin Phillips, all things being equal, Gundogan, Bernardo, Kevin De Bruyne in that midfield.
Stable
right?
midfield, stable defense
Stable
too.
midfield, dynamic, right? You got the back four stable. Then you got Haaland, Alvarez, Foden. You got Grealish, you can play central. And then you add in these kids. We're talking about running people ragged. That's what we're talking about. I'm gassed about this. I really am excited about the potential for next season, whether Sterling stays or doesn't stay.
And
So do you want the answer to your question? Okay, look, basically for me, I have said it multiple times. Yes, midfield it's tough to play around in the midfield. I'm gonna give that. Yeah, Lavia, I love the kid, but I know it's tough to play in the midfield. But as Gundo says, it's actually easier to play around in the wings if the kid is skilled, if the kid has it. Some of these kids we have in our academy, I don't get why people say, "Oh, I don't believe it can happen." I think it does. He can still sub our can still be the guy who comes in for our left winger if we need him extra time when we are winning. I don't mean that these kids will come in. Some of them can be an impact. Like right now, if you see the reports,
Okay.
it says Marketing is now being played. Is going to be played as a winger.
So, guys, here's where I have to challenge, though. Here's where I have to challenge. Is it now 4 months of experience why these players can be trusted now? Because we had them on the bench. They've traveled, but they didn't get to play. So, and I understand last season we had the importance. We were being chased by Liverpool. But is it now, if I'm hearing correctly, is it now time has passed, we can give them the opportunity, or could they have been given the opportunity last year? Because this is where a little bit of the concern is with regards to, and again, I trust the club, I trust the manager with regards to these decisions being made, but we're all fans. We're still going to be like, oh, I don't know.
Well, let's think about this, right? Let's decompose this. In the big games, the big moments this season, right? Anfield away, Foden, De Bruyne, Chelsea at home, Kevin De Bruyne. Yes, Jesus scores a goal against Chelsea away, right?
He also scored in the Liverpool one. Like Jesus has been clutch for
right.
Yeah.
He has.
And that's fair enough, right? He's the one that I would say, yep, fair play to you, goodbye. We love you, thank you for what you've done. We make money. We talk about United, Bernardo Silva. I'm going to want De Bruyne again. It's still there. So it's time, guys. It's time. There's no point having the EDS in the academy if we won't use these kids. We have the world's best manager, or we can sell Sterling or Jesus and take the money and invest in Phillips and Cucurella and still have a net spend with bringing in the kids. Goodness me.
So I just want to put this forward.
If Rodrigo from Real Madrid and Vinicius Jr. from Real Madrid, 21 years old, can make a difference for Madrid, why aren't we trying these kids who have equal talent as those kids? It just makes no sense.
I agree. I agree that we need to be giving these opportunities for basically really for our academy, because it's shown that it has grown, it is successful, and the plan that's been put in place, the sustainability that has been the vision of the club, is actually showing to be true. So I'm in agreement there. Where I, and again, as a fan, will trust but still be nervous is when I look at our attacking players, with the exception of Foden and Mahrez, to all be second-year or first-year players.
It doesn't matter, Vader.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter. So let's take Raheem Sterling, for example, okay? Let's assume that he wants to stay. His goal numbers for the past 2 years have dropped year on year. His stats are there. It's not his best season was 18-19. 19-20, he dropped. 2021, he dropped. 2020, he dropped. Right? So his goal involvement. Right?
The last 2 seasons, and this is my thing, and I'm gonna be totally transparent.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sterling has fallen off when Aguero's been gone. Sterling has fallen off when there hasn't been a true 9. The reason why I don't want him to go, even if it's just to play out this season, is because I think Sterling's gonna cook. I think he's going to cook.
Do you want me to give you the truth? Maybe City fans watching and better. Do you want me to give you the truth? Do you know when Raheem fell off? I say this to Gundorodian when I first met him. Raheem fell off when he missed that ball against Lyon.
Yes.
I want you to watch ever since. Guys, I'm not lying. Ever since he missed that against Lyon, it just affected him mentally. Watch him ever since then. Even somebody said it in another stream. He's not a City fan. He's like, ever since Lyon, do you know Raheem fell off? Like after that Lyon miss, it just hit him. That wasn't the same at Raheem anymore.
Right.
Yeah, but if we work backwards, we know why.
We don't want to turn this into a Raheem bashing, but right.
No. It will never be. It will never be on my show, your show. It'll never be.
But I want to just say, look, if a player desires to leave, there's no point in trying to convince him.
Runs his contract down.
You
12 months.
Listen, you're only as strong as your weakest link. A 100% committed youth player is better than a superstar who's half committed. I'm telling you, man.
And again, I don't know what's in Sterling's mind or heart, But I'm looking at this as strictly, again, yes, it's business, it's money. So
And playtime for the World Cup.
I don't even think his World Cup is in jeopardy. In terms of like the most important players and how Southgate manages the team, he doesn't pick you based off of form. Look at Maguire. Maguire's never lost his position. I think Sterling isn't really at risk of making that team. I think where Sterling's looking to do his thing is really contractually. He's 27. He's looking for that next large contract. And if it's not happening at City, not that he wants to go, but he wants the dough. And if he's not able to get the dough, then he's moving on.
Vader, but what dough does he want? Right now he's on what, 300,000?
No, I wish I had this.
Patrick, check what he's on right now. Let me check.
He's on the same money as Grealish. He's on 300,000 a week.
Okay, so he's on 200,000. So he wants Kevin De
Bruyne. 300,000 a week.
Let's say he wants more than Grealish, which I believe is fair. He doesn't deserve KDB, but it's somewhere between there.
Yeah, but the club have given him a contract, an offer, which is probably
yeah. So
it's not KDB money.
No, it's not KDB number.
If he wants KDB money, forget it. He ain't getting KDB.
It shouldn't be KDB.
He ain't getting KDB money. He ain't getting nowhere near. He's not close to it.
So the thing you're worried about, I can see as majority, and I like the way you're coming from this angle better. Like, fair play to you, and you're coming from a good angle because a lot of people have that. People are worried because they're saying if the Leon game affected us all, and I can just imagine how it affected that empty net. I want to go again. Carl posted it. I will not. No, oh my God, no. Let me not even think about it. That means
after you talk, I got a point though. Go ahead.
Yeah. So for me, okay, I'm gonna mention the names. Carl, I think you're also here, so you agree with me. So people say we cannot bring two of the youth wingers in to be backup. We have Jack, right? Jack. We've got Foden. We've got Alvarez now. We've got Haaland. We've got Riyad Mahrez, and then we've got Cole Palmer. We can't call Palmer because he's been in the first team around. And then you're trying to tell me that if they want to do what they want to do with marketing, I think that's a smart idea. Whoever did that, because I saw an article saying marketing is going to be played in the wing sides. Marketing would cook in the wing because he's just naturally gifted. So you add that, and you have people like Idozi all the time when they need somebody. Those guys come in, while the main ones are Alvarez, Foden, Haaland, Mahrez, and Grealish. Those are 5 already. That's the front already. So these 5 also need a place to play. So we're only talking about the EDS coming. The EDS coming to help out, to support. One of them might break through. You never know. Palmer might actually become the eat thing and bench somebody. You never know. So all I'm saying is, should we go and buy somebody like Leo for 150 release clause? Leo, Idozi is the same as Leo. Give Idozi Leo's opportunity, Idozi will be like Leo.
Patrick.
Yeah.
Who is Pep's assistant right now?
Enzo, who used to be the ex academy coach.
What was Enzo's legacy before he left to go to Parma in Italy? What was his legacy?
He used to he won 2 Premier Leagues. He won 2 Premier Leagues.
An academy team that dominated English football, that knocked Chelsea off their perch, that created Delap and McAtee and Edozie and all these kids, that Mbete and all these boys who won the league again, even with a different manager. Oh, by the way, the different manager that won the league this year is not the guy that's coming to Pep. So the club have a clear plan, in my opinion, of bringing this guy back because he knows these players. He's worked with them for years.
This is a couple points. Is the Lyon match obviously difficult, devastating, scarring, right?
Did you see how empty the net was?
I saw it, and you know what? As a person that's kind of played, I was like, could he have not seen the ball? Like, what was the judgment there? But his foot actually got under the ball because
he pointed though. I think he also pointed at just put it here.
He pointed for the ball.
He pointed to where it got, but when the ball came, he didn't even place it. He actually tried to. He had to try to kick it, which made no sense. All he had to do was just place it.
Did you see what Vinicius did in the same situation?
Yes, but
you know why? You know why?
No.
Because he tried to play the ball with his right foot instead of his left foot because it's weak on his left. And it was inverted. He was an inverted winger playing on the left. He tried to play the ball with his right foot and not his left foot.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we've seen players put that in regardless, but I hear what you're saying. Where with how difficult that moment was, and the reason why I have such maybe an overemphasis with experience, and especially when you've gotten close to what your goals or dreams are and you've fallen short, is that for many, especially for many that have that as a goal or how they're wired, failure failure hurts even more than winning. Like the drive to overcome a failure is actually more important than the
Yeah,
win. The lessons that
it
you have
depends, Peter. It
are
depends, Peter. It depends on your mentality. If you're
I yeah, but
if
and but again, for a player like Sterling to have again, if some want to critique and say he hasn't looked the same, that's fair. But to have gotten up, to continue to have compete since that time,
yeah,
and
but Peter,
and even since that time to have
I hear you, bro. Right? I get the idea that you learn from failure, you can better. He hasn't gotten better though. Wolves. De Bruyne has scored 4 goals to bury us. He misses another 1v1. In fact, he even collides with the post.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so
So,
how does experience help us in that way? It's the same. This is the problem he's had even since Liverpool.
but at the same time, we can point out, I believe he scored 15 goals this season. We could look at the
And he should
moments
have
where
scored
he
50.
scored.
He should have showed you give the
But we could say that with every player. And again, I
you-
don't want to go back to the because again, he may remain here and we're going to need him to deliver for
yeah,
us. So I would never say that he's the complete striker. We know that. He's not even the complete wingman, right? But I've seen him with a 9. I've seen him play international with a cane. He's a different player. And that's
I don't know.
when I look at him not being an option for the team, and again, we're gonna have to speculate because we haven't seen the team play.
But the,
Where my
yeah,
where my I'm obviously gonna have to place some hope, some wishful thinking because we can't see it in that those players can or there's gonna be elements of the players to do what he does. Let me get to these comments real quick.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so we got McLovin. He goes Raheem versus versus zero empty netter. I get it. Tough moment. He also goes, don't forget, guys, versus Lyon, it was Jesus who made the chance by himself for Raheem. And I'm not again. We were criticizing Jesus or later or sorry earlier this season with some of the chances that he took. Same with Mahrez, chances that they took when they should have passed and things of that nature. We got Edison in the building. Thanks for tuning in, my friend. He goes, hey. He goes, why are you feeling depressed, my guy? You got to tell me why. You got to tell me why you're feeling depressed. I'm here for you. And we got Centurions 100 points. I think Raheem should just move on. Sometimes you just need a fresh start. Him moving on for a player, I'm for it. But as a club, I want to make sure that I'm strengthening, not weakening. And Jesus and him going in terms of the forward attack, in my opinion, I'd rather one, not both. McLevin goes, Jesus was a big hero for City in the UCL. That King Khan, what? Oh, yes, Jesus.
Then Aguero.
He's saying Jesus is dealing more than Aguero. Yes, yes. Fair enough. Fair enough. We can say
Unfortunately,
this.
that's the truth.
It is.
If
It
you
is.
talk about UCL moments like tough
Yeah.
moments, Jesus actually came clutch more than
He did.
Aguero,
He
It's
and
did.
that
true.
was always hurt me.
You
It
know
is
what?
true.
I'm more hurt about Jesus leaving than I am about Sterling potentially leaving. I'm just being fair. I'm being honest. And not because I dislike Sterling or whatever it is. I just feel like there's a hunger. There's an eye open. Jesus is like a good Boy Scout you want on your team. Doesn't moan, no faces, nothing. Just works and works and works. Here's a guy who came from Brazil, not knowing a word of English, and can speak English, interview in English with English media without any issues. He just works, which is why for me, I'm gracious and letting him go. I'm happy for him. I hope he does well. For Raheem, you're English. Who goes from Liverpool to City to potentially Chelsea? What are you thinking?
I don't have the same take on that because
What are you
I
thinking?
dismissed the Liverpool. I dismissed the Liverpool.
No,
That's where
you can't do that. And here's why you can't do that, because it's where he started off at.
yeah, but if you get brought up, if you get your first chance at a club, it's like if we look at well,
No,
I know
I get
NBA is
that.
different, but
My point is, now you go to Chelsea, right?
possibly, yeah.
Possibly. It's not going to happen. I think it's going to happen. But let's assume he goes to Chelsea. You start missing 1v1s. I'm telling you right now, everyone listening, he will be destroyed by Chelsea fans. You think Lukaku is bad? You wait.
Strikers go to Chelsea to die, though.
Most of my Chelsea friends, Vader, right, here in the US, they don't want this guy. They do not want him in any way. These are the same fans I've been talking to for years who've been slagging Raheem off, that have been defending him, saying he's a great guy, he's going to work it through. If he goes there and he misses chances like Lukaku or like Werner, you think it's bad at City? Oh my God.
As the chances that he may miss compared to Lukaku and Werner, I think he still delivers more than those two.
The problem
he will deliver, but there's
deliver more. But the emphasis on his misses, and this is the thing, and I think, and again, there's no way to quantify this.
Vader, who creates for him though? Just a question: who creates for him at Chelsea? Because Chelsea creativeness is low. You see, question. That's another thing. Who gives him those tap-ins? Because that's De Bruyne who feeds your man. He's fed by De Bruyne.
That's a great question.
Who's gonna feed him there? Mahrez feeds him with the tap-in. Who's gonna feed him with the tap-in?
Which is why I don't think the deal is gonna happen. It makes no sense. It just doesn't make any sense. Why would Raheem Sterling leave City to go to Chelsea when Chelsea need 3 center backs, 2 center midfielders? Why? And they have no ownership. What do you think? Why?
There's gonna be a lot to talk about with regards to the transfer window, so we'll get into some more. This topic on screen, and apologies, viewers, because I haven't been doing this, but I need to do it real quick, and I need to do a better job on it because I want to be able to keep my markers. But with Manchester City making the choice to have an exodus with whichever players, I think it's going to be good timing, because right now when we look at the transfer window and we look at the ops across the entire EPL, Liverpool, one could argue they haven't strengthened in a way to put fear in the league, right? There hasn't been much done with Chelsea, new ownership, not sure how they're going to be spending. United haven't done anything, inactivity. Spurs have had some new additions looking strong. Arsenal potentially getting Jesus, strong percentages on that. But maybe from a EPL managing the waters, it does make a lot of sense to let some of these players go based off of, how we need to manage the team, the cycle of players, and also what our competition's doing. Would you guys agree? Is there any team with regards to the transfer window that has you raising your eyebrows, like they look to be dangerous next season?
I think Spurs, man. I've said it from day one. I think Spurs, with the addition of the wing back, whatever his name is, I can't remember his name. The other 2 players, I think they're a dangerous proposition.
Oh, Perisic and Basuma.
Yeah. I think, and they're going to add one more, I believe. They are a dangerous proposition. They are a dangerous proposition. Just don't forget, Spurs didn't lose to Liverpool or City last season.
Yeah.
And I think Conte will correct all the other anomalies, like Burnley, like Chelsea. Will listen to those. Once they correct those anomalies, they will be a problem. Yeah. They will be a serious problem next season. They may drop out of the Champions League, but in the Premier League, there will be a problem.
I agree. I think the Spurs look the most threatening right now, especially with how Conte managed them last year. I hate the fact that we actually lost both games, not just dropping points, but we lost both games. Maybe the concern isn't, as it stands right now, and again, a lot of days to go in the transfer window, but as it stands right now, okay, we see we're strengthening. Look at the competition, maybe they're not strengthening as much. We will obviously weaken a little bit with some experience leaving us. But if there's a time to change, there's a time to change.
Is it really? But you really think it's weakening?
I think because I can only see it offensively, right? And I know we play defense through offense, ball retention, possession. We pin our opponents back, but I haven't seen how a Holland. And again, they're on different teams right now, but I don't see how they would actually fit in terms of winning the ball back and the tenacity and the work rate. I'm not saying that they're not capable of, but it's something that we need to wait and see. I already know how. I've seen the two players that we've kind of talked about track back. I've seen and I've already accepted how Mahrez doesn't track back as we would like. So we don't quite know what the others will do. That's the only thing. Whether we're going to put together a fantastic system, get the best out of our players, put pressure on our opponents. I don't doubt that. But here's the nostalgic.
This is a weird comment here by Edison. I wish we had the Spurs owner. No lie. Why would you? Why the hell would you want?
No, let me say it. So Edison's actually an AC Milan fan. Thanks for tuning in. He's always supporting the channel. And so they've got new owners, and apparently they're not spending the way they were told they were going to be spent.
Yeah, Edison, I love Milan, man. I really love Milan.
I feel for you, man.
Oh, sorry, bro.
Yeah, he's hurting right now. I don't mean to laugh. I don't mean to laugh.
Serie A though, Edison.
He did.
Yeah,
he did. He did. I wonder, Edison. Let me know how you feel about Lukaku possibly coming back. And
sorry about that, I was just curious as to. Yeah.
No, it's all good. Whether his return is going to have him win the league again. Let me know what you think. So the my point was, there's just that doubt, that uncertainty. But as a fan, confident that we're gonna make it work. And again, to go back to good timing for change, given our rivals, I definitely do think it's good timing with regards to that. And if we're going to revisit this in a lot more depth, whether it's on my channel or True City Fan or Pitch Points, I'm sure we're going to talk about it as the transfer window comes to a close. We actually talked about this, and I didn't put it on screen, but I kind of think actually the way this is listed right here is where I would prioritize the danger, right? I think Spurs, based off of the transfer window right now, looking dangerous. Conte, obviously, as a manager, he's certified. He can do his thing. Klopp and Liverpool will be a problem. A lot of their fan base believe that they're not strengthening to be able to compete. I don't believe it. They were competing in all four competitions last year. They went the furthest with regards to challenging for the quad, to then say this upcoming season, the 2022-2023 season, won't have them as a threat. I'm not buying it. But we got Spurs, Liverpool, Arsenal. They're going to strengthen by acquiring a battle-tested warrior in Jesus, as well as other players. And Chelsea and United still have moves to make in the transfer window. One thing that wasn't on topic, and let me put these comments on screen for you guys. And apologies if they're a little out of order. But McLovin goes, Holland is no Prescott, but he did start off his pro career at Salzburg under Marsh, so he knows a thing or two. I think, again, the way Pep is and how Pep actually managed Aguero, and I'm sure this isn't anything new to you, McLovin, but maybe to some of the viewers that are new to the channel, Pep actually went out to get Jesus because he wanted a player to fit with regards to the system. And he actually benched Aguero because Aguero wasn't putting in that effort to work within the system. Obviously, Aguero changed his approach, improved, and then also the quality of Aguero got him back on that pitch. But I think Holland's going to be able to do it. Absolutely. The few matches that I've watched with regards to Alvarez, I think he fits in really well. And then the youth, and I'm going to refer to them as the youth, but the youth, they've done it throughout the academy as their preparation, because Manchester City or the City Football Group, it's a holistic approach. What you're doing at Team One trickles all the way down. It's a fantastic pyramid. So the players are gonna definitely know how to run that system. Whether the ability within themselves allows them to do it is going to be the question. But I think they're going to be strong. Centurions also points out, I know Holland will bang goals. I agree. But do you guys have a little concern about his injuries? I'm gonna throw this one to you, Gundo, if you're able to answer, or Patrick. I'll tackle it.
No, I'm here. Don't worry.
Okay.
No,
So
I don't have any concerns with Harden's injuries because I don't have any issues with Harden's injuries because we've got Alvarez, and I think he'll be rotated because I think they know already. Don't forget they sent him after his medical in Belgium. They still sent him to Spain, to that doctor that Pep uses. So they went and checked him again. So I'm pretty sure they're going to rotate him. I think they'll look after him better at Man City, more than they did at Dortmund. Because look, at Salzburg, he wasn't being injured that much. It was at Dortmund where he started registering injuries so much.
Yeah. I think he was the guy. They worked him. Everything was funneling through him, and I think they rushed him back at Manchester City between Pep, medical staff, and the players around him. I think obviously he can be used, not necessarily sparingly, but he can be brought into to not be overworked. So I don't think the injury concerns should be there. And he's a growing young man, so part of it were just growing pains, in my opinion. I want to. This was actually a bonus stream, viewers. Edison, McLovin, Centurions, FIFA, Big Morgan. Thanks for tuning in. This was a bonus show, and I'm ecstatic that I was able to get Patrick and Gunnalorian able to join in, because I know it wasn't properly scheduled, but I want to have the convo, and I know the convo is going to continue. There will be the late night or evening with regards to me with Why Always Me show later in the week. So please make sure you tune in and support that. I also want to point out that tune in, support, subscribe to True City Fan and Pitch Points, two fantastic channels, great content. And when they collab, not only do they collab well with other creators, but when they collab with the audience, it is a great show. So please tune in, support those guys, subscribe to their channel, and drop a comment, give them some feedback. I always conclude the show with that last topic on screen, and it is the shoe game. Fan requested, so I always have to share it. So fan requested, they want to show the shoe game. They know that they got a good inventory, so I share that every show. Viewers are trying to catch me in the same shoe twice, so I'm doing my best not to have a repeat shoe. The weather's fantastic out here. It's nice. I'm going to put these kicks on screen. Viewers, let me know in the comments.
We're definitely going to catch you in the same shoe twice. Just watch.
Patrick's ready to catch me. But viewers, I'm so close. I'm creeping slowly to that century mark, and as I told you, that milestone, I know it's days, it's months, or it's weeks, it's months. But when I reach that 1,000 subscriber mark, my shoe plug will allow me to actually have a contest with regards to footwear to be able to give a pair out. So when I hit that mark, I'm going to be ecstatic, because that's going to be my opportunity to give back, and looking forward to that day. So without any more delay, you're going to check out this week's shoe cam, VatorgamesTV shoe cam on the screen. Let me put it. Where is it? Oh, one second here. All right, here we go. So viewers, let me know. Take a look at those. Let me back it up a little bit. The logo's probably giving these away a little bit. I do my best. Low profile in the summertime. These might throw you guys off a little bit. But let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments the shoe that they happen to be. Try to catch me in a double pair. but the contest continues. I want to thank Patrick, True City fan. I want to thank Carl Gundalorian for jumping on the show. If there's anything that you guys happen to have coming through within the week, please let the viewers know.
Yeah. So I'm going to see Sheikh Mansour tomorrow. So if you have any requests, if you have any,
Yo, what?
I'm going to be in this country next week. So if you have any, I may just.
Oh, viewers, make sure.
So you're here on Vader Games Live. I'm going to be, in the country of Sheikh Mansour next week or this week. Hopefully, I can go see him. If you need me to drop a note about maybe getting, maybe bring in what's his face, Calvin Phillips or Liao or Cucurella Dunn, or hey, maybe even some of the big name that you're looking for. Let us know what you think. Who should Carl talk to Sheikh Mansour to get? Let us know on Vader Games. All right, post a comment right there on what player I should whisper into the Sheikh's ear. That
is huge.
All right, I'll be visiting his country and hopefully his city this week. I'll be sending pictures to a True City fan, and also maybe we can even do a show, Patrick, when I'm out there. Maybe I could show some sights and some.
Please do.
That is amazing.
But let us know here on Vader Games. Who should I talk to him about to bring?
Let me know. Let us know in the comments which players should be emphasized, should be whispered, Inception style, by Carl with him jet setting out there. And man is a jet setter. His photos, if you missed it, I believe it was on True City Fans channel when Carl came in to catch a Manchester City game. If he's going to do something, he does it right. Quality, does things with quality. So tune in. I look forward to that. Oh, and Patrick, what about yourself, my guy?
Nah, I won't be in Dubai. I'll be at home. But if you want to do a few videos as one of our reps is in Dubai, we can do a few videos and then we can do a show when he gets to Dubai and see what he can show us in Dubai. Sometimes it's also good to do a show that's out of season. It's not always about football. We can also do a show about life, travel and stuff. So look, Vader, hit me up. Thank you for the invite, man. I like the shoes. Looking forward to you hitting the mile you're looking for. And guys, please get to this channel, man. This is a humble dude, just doing humble things. Subscribe to the channel and make sure you support the guy, man. Support the guy. Anyway, that's all good. And Mr. Gundo, I know you tell us when you're going, but all the best. Make sure you ask for a promotion for Lavia.
Yeah. Okay. Your son. So I call these guys Patrick's sons, Vader. So and I say that because Patrick has been consistent with these kids. We've doubted him. We've talked about no, they're not good enough. But the reality is that Patrick's sons are ready for game time. They're ready for game time. We would fail them if we don't allow them to play and experience what it is. We've won the Premier League twice in a row. We probably will win it again next year. Why not give these kids a chance to experience that? There's only
fair
for us. So
that's fair. I want to shout out Edison. We will be talking in depth with regards to other EPL teams. Today's show was really sparked with some of the exits with regards to Manchester City players, but we'll be doing that again. McLovin, thank you for the comments. Edison, Centurions, 100 points. Appreciate it. That is a show for today. Love the support, love the interaction, and there will be another show this week for myself, and we're gonna keep this going. Love as always. First things first. My peoples come first. My peoples are Manchester City fans, rivals as well. We're peoples. It's all love. So continue to support the channel, and I appreciate it every time. Thank you, Vader Games. I'm out.